Hello, good morning, you gorgeous humans. It is day 4. How did we get there? I'm having so much fun. How are you today? So before we start, please, if you are on live, let me just check into my comments. Could you please tell me that you can see and hear me before I start getting into one today? Because I've got so much glorious coming your way. If you are new on my live, there is a little a link above here called StreamYard. I'm using this software, so if you want to be able to comment for me to see your name, please register with StreamYard so that I can see your name. Oh, phone going, brilliant. So my name is Rachel Davis. I'm the founder of LaLa Tigers, and this week we have been looking at all of the things that you need to do. Not the things you need to do, the person you need to be to step into who you are meant to be, who you were born to be, so that you can raise a wholehearted child who can live to their fullest expression. So I don't know who's on today, so just let me know. Thank you. I've got here Facebook user, which tells me that I'm live, but I don't know who it is. So it won't show me your name unless you've registered. If you don't want to register, it's totally fine. But if you could just write your name before every comment, because this is a conversation and not a monologue. And you will get so much more value if you get involved with the questions as we are going through. So let's just have a little recap, shall we? Because we've covered quite a lot of stuff over the last 5 days. So day 1, we looked at all the signs that you weren't being the parent or the person that you really wanted to be and what to do instead. Day 2, we looked at what you want for your child. And we talked about what you want, what are the values that you wanted to impart, and how we should be embodying those ourselves. Day 3, it's all inside. We've been looking at beliefs, and we also looked at unexpressed emotions and how that stops us expanding into our glorious, fullest, truest expression. And today on day 4, I'm going to be helping you develop our confidence. Now, I freaking love today, because today I'm going to be sharing with you my formula. And I hate the word formula, right? Because I am really, really strong in the work that I do with parents is not prescriptive. And the reason why I say that is that most of the stuff that I do is to enable parents to become to their own answers. For you to get out of your way, you know all of the answers, right? And it is my job, I believe, as a coach, not to sit here and tell you the answers, but to help you find your own. That is the sign of a true coach. And so sharing my formula with you today is going to be the beginnings of helping you understand a framework that will help you and your children navigate anything that you come across with grace and ease. I've got some coaching questions for you to do. So if you have a paper or journal or a pen, great. Also, I'm going to ask you to write them down in the comments, because that helps us to get into a conversation, which is much nicer than me just going blah, blah, blah at the screen at you. But ultimately, the invitation is that you are going to stop beating yourself up and step into who you are meant to be, so that you can give your child permission to do the same. If you can see and hear me, can you please just say yes? I've got a Facebook user, but there was no comment. So I'm just making it just as Facebook user. So I'm just checking I'm live before I go into today's exercise. Also, I don't know if you've seen, but hopefully if you've seen on the emails going out, I am giving away 30-minute complimentary calls. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you. Is it a silent J? I never know. Morning, Lindsay. How are you, gorgeous girl? Thank you. And good morning, Lindsay. How are you, beautiful humans? Congratulations on showing up for yourself live. I know loads of people watch this back on a replay, so there is no escape. If you watch this back on a replay, give me a hashtag replay and still get involved in the coaching questions, because I still come back and answer into your comments or any questions that you might have. Now, where was I? So, have you, before we start, have you all received the workbook and the poster that was sent out via Messenger? I think most of you on here have, because you've seen it. Jasmine, I don't know about you, my lovely. I can't remember if I got a message back from you, but if you check your DMs, or if you've only messaged this morning, let me know. And I can send one out for you. But worst case scenario, I can talk you through the coaching questions. Lucy has it. Amazing. Jasmine, thank you, Jasmine, for putting your name. This is amazing. Brilliant. So we're all good to go. Now, at the end of today's session, so let's talk about what we're going to do today. The first part of today's session, we're going to be looking at the framework of how fierce and strong people become that way. And I just want to go there with the fierce thing. because so many times this can be misconstrued. Fierce is not fierce. Like, fierce is right. There is a big difference in forcing, pushing, stress, and control, and allowing, accepting, surrendering, and knowing. Do you know? Do you feel the vibe? Like, it's a different kind of thing. And so when I talk about fear to fierce, really what we're talking about is moving out of an energy of fear, which is what's showing up in your parenting as stress, as reactivity, as control, as judgment, and changing perceptions and moving into love. Because love, my friends, is the answer to every single question. And yesterday we talked a little bit about emotional frequency. I am really, really interested in talking to parents who are prepared to step out of where they are and get down on the starting line, because there is one single thing that defines tigers and fierce women, in my humble opinion, and that, my friends, is courage. Because everybody is living in fear. Fear is ever present. It shows up in everything that we do. Unhealed wounds, limiting beliefs, trapped emotions. It's all holding us back. And actually, women who own it are the ones that can identify where fear is showing up: procrastination, self-sabotage, stress, reactivity, playing small, minimizing yourself to please others. If any of these apply to you, can you please just because I've been guilty of all of these things. This is why I teach what I teach. And for those of you who don't know my story, I have seen children going through my program who have been punching themselves in the face, saying they hate themselves. I've seen children going from complete meltdowns to straight A's. I've seen children who were struggling with perfectionism and control be able to then hold workshops for adults on positive affirmations, on retreats all over the world. That last one's my son. I have seen women leave relationships, start businesses, move countries. Can I just check I'm still live? Because I've just frozen on my screen. I'm a little bit concerned. I've frozen. Are we back? That was so weird. So apparently my internet was working, but everything just shut down. Please tell me you can still see and hear me. Please tell me that you are still with me. I froze and it all went a bit icky. Went on my phone. Are we back? Yes, Jasmine, we're back. Thank you for your patience, you gorgeous humans. Woo! Okay. So where were we? I can't even remember where I was. That completely threw me. Let me just turn my phone off, because otherwise, 17 people will call me while I'm on my live. At some point, you are going to have to start stepping out of the shadows and into your gloriousness, because you, my gorgeous human, you are so glorious. You are so great. And I genuinely believe that you are here for something, as is your child. Okay. Now, I will ask you now, Jasmine, I don't know if you've been, can I just ask you, Jasmine, have you been able to catch up on any of the coaching series that we've done so far? Don't worry if you haven't. I'm just asking. Because when we move out of the victim energy, or child energy, the fear, the things that are holding you back, you get to stand in greatness. You get to stand in joy. You get to stand in warrior. You get to stand in goddess, in queen. And all of these kinds of energies come from a place of power. And none of that, my friend, comes from here. Everything comes from here. So I run programs that help women frickin' own it, step into their greatness, and raise wholehearted children. And when I talk about wholehearted children, we did an exercise yesterday. We talked about living from your whole heart without all of the emotional wounds that are keeping you small. And at the end of today's exercise, which is lush, by the way, there will be an invitation for those of you who want to take the next step with me. There will be an invitation. Now, I am giving away free 30-minute calls all week, which is where I was. These calls can be used for anything that you like. They are completely complimentary. I'm dropping a link down in all the emails that I'm sending out. If you haven't booked one yet, get in quick, because I've only got a certain amount of slots available for next week. And then I'm on half term and I'm working on retreat in Ibiza. So I will not be able to do calls. However, bring anything that you want. Maybe it's your life, maybe it's your parenting, maybe it's your child, maybe whatever it is. And I will help you unravel and change the perspective and reframe, because that is what I am a badass at. And at the end of today's session, for those of you, and I do know that like the amount of value and the things that I give in these sessions, I know that you can take this away this week. There is so much gorgeousness that I give for free in my free coaching sessions. You can take this away and you will make real impact in your parenting right now, especially with the tool that we're going to use today. But for those of you who want to step further, and if you don't want to stay for that part of it, it's completely up to you. But for those of you who want to find out a little bit more how you can work with me, I'll tell you a little bit about that afterwards. So before we start, let me just check out your messages. I can only see page 1 of the workbook. Lucille, only page 1. Which bits can you see? Is mine printed off? No, mine hasn't printed off. So can you see a little bit of text, and then can you see the bit that says my top 3 values are name, person, and qualities? If you can, if not, don't worry, I can talk you through it. It's really, really not a problem. Okay, so can we just, before we take a moment, I'm just going to bring up my screen to make sure that I have everything that we need. Bear with me. Let me just go into this part of my screen. While I'm doing this, I would really like you to type into the comments down below, what is the kind of person or parent that you need to be to raise a child with the qualities that you said that you wanted for them on day 2? So anybody who's not watched that back, top 5 qualities that you wanted to have for your children. Because we need to think about who we need to be today for that to happen. I'm going to help you do that today with our session. And the secret ingredient, my friends, is all of it, isn't it? It's beliefs, it's epigenetics. It's love, it's worthiness, it's enoughness. And it's not actually until you 100% own and you become 100% accountable for where you are right now that you can begin to make change. Lucille, you have just page 1. Please don't worry. Don't worry. I'll talk you through it. It's all fine. If you make yourself 100% accountable, then and only then can you take full responsibility for where you are. Could you please type in the comments? Let me just have some water. It's been a morning, isn't it? Is it gin? Is it water? Who knows? It's water, by the way. I actually don't drink. Though this morning when my tech went down, I kind of wished I did. Oh, could you please type in the comments down below, I am 100% responsible for where I am now. Could you type that for me, please? I think it's just really good to put that out there. Because when we start into accountability and we start taking responsibility, and then we have the ability to respond rather than react, this is where your power lies. Okay. Not seeing any comments. Is it? I hate the delay on this. I have a little chat. I say something, and then a few minutes later, it just goes bing, 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 bing. Here's the thing I want you to take from today. It's not about the words. It's not about the things that you do with your children. It's about the energy that you show up with. So, for example, I can turn up here and I can say all of these things, and I can be like this, and I can be up in my head, and I could be worried about what I look like, or I could be worried about whether you think I'm stupid, right? Or when I speak on stages, or when I am delivering workshops to flipping early childcare in the States, which I did not so long ago. But what I know for sure is when I come out of here and I drop down into here and I speak from here and I forget the chatter, I know that everything I'm saying is coming from my heart. And I know that it feels differently for you. Does it not? Do you feel the difference? Do you know that when you stand in love with your child as a container, for that is what you are, and you hold that container from a complete energy of love with everything that you do, even if you don't let them have what they want, for those of you who overcompensate or give in or have boundary issues, your children feel it. And I know, because I raised 2 children on my own, I know that when I talk to my children from this place, from my knowing. They don't push me. There is no push because they feel it and they know and they feel safe in that. Does that make sense? Children need to feel safe, and they feel safe by you knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you are and aren't prepared to tolerate. Make sense? Lindsay, I am 100% responsible for where I am now. Beautiful, Lindsay. Lucy, I'm 100% responsible for where I am now. Beautiful. Jasmine, I'm guessing this is you. I am 100% responsible for where I am now. And so am I. And here's the question. Are you where you want to be? Are you where you want to be right now? And I don't think actually any of it, there are a few little moments, isn't there, where we are where we want to be, but the human condition is that we always want more. Like literally 4 years ago, I had a pencil drawing of a tiger. I had this dream, but the problem is I was surrounded by people who did not see my greatness. I minimized myself to fit into their expectations. Do any of you do this? Are you surrounded by people who do not see what you are truly capable of? When I first told one of my friends that I had this idea that I was going to build this platform and I had to have all these songs and I was going to help children understand their internal worlds and step into their greatness and I was going to do all that, her first words to me was like, this sounds amazing, but you've got to be realistic. I have deep love for this woman, but it probably won't surprise you to know that like she has just fallen as my life has risen. We're just not there. We're not friends anymore. We are friends, but I just don't see her anymore. My circle, everything has completely and utterly changed. And it began with a decision that I was worthy. It began with a decision to heal. So please type down in the comments down below. Thank you, Jasmine. I'm where I want to be in my determination to grow. Jasmine, that is so freaking beautiful. Type in where you want to be. Let's just put this out there. This is the beginning parts of manifestation. Let's just put this out there a little bit. Please, can you type how you would like your life to look like in 12 months? In your parenting, in your life. Just give a moment. Because here's the thing that I know while you're typing that down. Just put it out there. Go on, I dare you. Make it big, make it bold. We reach for the moon and we hit the stars, right? Most people are afraid of starting because you're not afraid of failing and making mistakes. You're afraid of starting small and you're afraid of making mistakes. Everybody is. Does this make sense? Okay. Right. I'm conscious of time today because we had a little bit of a tech issue and there's so much that I want to cover with you. Also tomorrow, please come tomorrow. Tomorrow we're talking about the power of music and frequency to impact your child's subconscious mind in a way like nothing else can. And my little snippet for you is you don't remember anything that your parents told you when you were 3, but you remember all of the songs. They are in there. They evoke memories, smells. Did a whole TED talk on it. Please feel free to go and check it out. Tomorrow is music day and I'm going to be sharing with you the very first music workshop from my Raise a Tiger program that you can then, this is just for adults, by the way, tomorrow. Come yourself, bring yourself and your smile. And then at the end of the session, I'm going to be playing a music workshop that you can then, because you'll have the recording, be able to go away and do together with your child. So, oh, and there's also some gorgeous little bonuses I keep forgetting to mention. We have also a Ren, who is my body emotion code and energy healer, who supports mothers in my Fear2Fierce container. We also have Una Archer, who is a specialist in child psychology and emotional security of children. I'll tell you more about her. She's coming in on Monday. So all of the trainings are staying up until Tuesday. So if you've not caught up yet, you've still plenty of time to dig in, and they will all disappear at 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Right, I just want to look at your answers. So, Lindsay, supported and supportive. I love the doubled because that's the duality, right? I love that. Supported by whom, Lindsay? I'm interested. Just want to dig in. I love digging into these answers. Who do you want to be supported by? Facebook user, Yasmin, this is you. I'm going to say Yasmin or Jasmine. I'm really sorry if I'm getting this wrong. I'm dedicated to being a better person and being more present and playful with my brilliant kids. They are my biggest teachers. Yes, Jasmine, you are speaking my... Oh, Jasmine at the end, thank you. You are speaking my language. And the problem is we are living in the most crazy, chaotic world. There is so little time for time and attention, let alone for ourselves, but for our children. And it's actually our presence. That is all they actually are requiring, is our presence. And the trouble thing, you think you have time. Because before age 7, our children are in a theta brainwave state. This is where they're absorbing everything. This is the biggest moment that you will have. And I'm telling you now, there is not one parent that I have worked with or have met that does not say that they wish they'd spent more time with their children when they were young. Because I'm telling you now, I now have teenagers. Things change. They don't want to hang out with you. They are not going to listen to you. And you don't have any kind of influence. Very, very little. They're much more influenced by media and their peers. Incredibly difficult. This is your moment. You get one chance. I was going to say, when you get one chance to raise a child. You don't get a second chance to raise a child. This is it. But most important, you get one chance of life. One. And nobody's coming to save you. Lindsay, family and friends. Okay, this is difficult. Perhaps this is one that we can talk about on your... Have you booked a session? You have, haven't you? When you come and join me for your 30-minute, perhaps we can dig into that a little bit more. But my invitation to you, Lindsay, is to be the support network that you wish you had for yourself. What is it that you need to give yourself? Do you know, is it friendship? Is it some time out? Is it better food? Only you know. But we have to fill, I say this a lot, we have to fill our own hole, ladies. There is a void inside you that is calling out for love. It is not your fault. But it is our job to fulfill our own needs. So I'm just going to read this one. I'm dedicated to be a better person and being more present and playful. Sorry, I've read this one already. Thank you very much. Sorry, Jasmine. It was this one that I wanted to bring up. Lucy, I'm calmer. So this is you in 12 months, right? Teddy listens to me. I'm doing events management and loving every minute. This is awesome. Lucy, I'm really excited. I want to know about the penguins. If you weren't here, if you weren't on the live the other day when we were on Zoom, oh my goodness, I'm excited for the penguins. That's all I'm saying. Teddy listens to you. Your opportunity is right now. This is when Teddy is going to listen to you. Up until about 6 or 7. After that, things really massively change. Okay. Thank you for your vulnerability and for sharing today. Is there anybody that I haven't responded to? No, I don't think I have. Okay. Let's move on to the exercise. So let me bring my slides over. So the first thing I want to do is I want to introduce you to something that I affectionately call the circle of raw. I know, it's cool, right? Do you know what? I haven't actually worn that much leopard print this week. I normally am in animal print, like as standard. But with the black screen, it doesn't always look great. I have to like dig out some different outfits. So where are we? Let me introduce you to the circle of Ra. Now, this will be one. This is very similar to the poster that you will have seen that's come out to you on Facebook Messenger. So I'm just going to talk you around the circle of Ra. I'm still here. How much fun can I have with this today? I do not know. Okay, so the circle of Ra is how I believe fierce people become that way. Strength. Okay, we start with connection. Now, connection always starts with self. Okay, we're going to go around the circle for self first, and then we're going to go around it to family and friends, and then to everybody else. So we start with connection. It goes around to compassion, and it finishes at courage. I'm going to bring this up in a second. So what do I mean by that? Connection to self, your joy, your creativity, your divine self-expression, everything that you're here to do, your purpose, your body, your thoughts, what is actually going on inside the cage that has been created for you by society and early programming and your parents and school and all the people that ever said shit to you that you absorbed and accepted as fact before you had any idea that you had the ability to define your own self. Self-connection is the lifeblood of everything that we do. In fact, in the work that I do with parents and children, the first part of that is very much about just becoming present, aware. What is actually going on? And what I find is, let me just bring this back up, is that when you actually are really serious about self-connection, then self-compassion becomes almost a given, because the realizations, the penny drops, the things that you notice, you start to become kinder to yourself. You surround yourself with people who see your greatness. You surround yourself in environments that feed and nourish your soul. You only engage in activities that are going to nurture you and help you grow. You eat better food. Like, the list goes on. Self-compassion. And from that comes courage. From that comes the courage to start to make changes, to move away from people, places, events, things, activities that no longer serve you. You find the courage to step into your future higher self. You find the courage to put yourself out there, make mistakes, look stupid, fall over, because you can no longer stay where you are. You're no longer prepared to tolerate staying in this minimizing poor expansion. If you are not growing, you are dying. End of. So let me just bring this back. Are you still with me? Am I still making sense? Let me just have some water. Now, once we've gone around the circle for self, first, self-connection, self-compassion, courage to be oneself, and we are showing up as a fully wholehearted individual, then and only then can we be connected to another. If you cannot be truly connected to your child, you cannot be truly connected to another human being, in fact, unless you're truly connected to yourself and you're showing up authentically. How many times do you meet fake people? How many times do you show up and you meet this front? And we'll have it. We talked about this a little bit on yesterday, the development of the ego. But how many people have you met? So you're just like, we talk about fake people. People who aren't real. You can smell it, right? So let me bring this back again. Sorry. I'm loving flipping between these two today. This is fun. Okay. And then you can only have compassion for somebody else and empathy. You are only able to do that if you have enough love for yourself to be able to give away. If you are resentful, depleted, running on empty, bitter, angry, ashamed, or guilty, you do not have enough in the tank to give away to others. Does this make sense? Let me just go over to my comments. Please, can you let me know if this is making sense? Because I can re-explain if not. Okay. And then, and only then, will you then have the courage to stand in your boundaries, to hold what you know is true for you, and you will not love others at the expense of yourself. And then, my friends, once you have then had the ability to go round the circle of for self, and then for your immediate family, and you're able to be the container, then and only then, I believe that's when we expand, and that's when we get to step into purpose. And that's when I think things get really, really freaking exciting. That is then when you have the ability to be able to connect with a bigger vision. You have compassion for more people outside of your inner circle, and you have a desire and you have the courage to step into impact, into freedom, and into helping others do the same. Is this making sense? Now, the reason why you might be thinking, why does it say honest, kind, and brave? Well, I have found over the years of running my program that connection, compassion, and courage, particularly when you're talking to younger children, can be difficult to grasp. And therefore, you are free to use any language that you like, any language at all, with your children. However, I have found that over the years, the 3 words that represent this the most with children, and these are the 3 words that we use in my Raise a Tiger program, is being honest, kind, and brave. And you will see that on the poster that has come out to you. So you should have a poster like this for your wall. Now, do you remember the other day I asked you what were the gifts and talents that you saw in your children right now? These are the things that need to be written. I want you to be doing this as an exercise, a piece of homework for you. I want you to look at the things that make your children unique. What brings them joy? Is it dancing? Is it cooking? Do they like making people laugh? Like, are they, I don't know, are they singers? Are they amazing sports people? Are they just really, really good at problem solving? Are they great at building things? These are the things that make your children unique. And I genuinely believe that the things that give us joy, that we're most drawn to as children, is somehow linked to our purpose. And this is why we bring it into this first part of our setting intention. The 3 first words we're going to go on and talk about. Then the reason I've left them blank like this, I think, in fact, actually, I think the poster that's come out to you is an updated one. I think the 3 first words on the poster that's come out to you, correct me if I'm wrong, actually just say honest, kind, and brave. If you don't want to use honest, kind, and brave, please feel free to use whatever words that work for you as a family. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's love. Maybe it's faith. But each of those 3 words that you come up with, this is your family mantra to help you navigate any situation you come across with grace and ease. I use these 3 words all of the time with my children. I'm going to go into a little bit more deeper in a moment with an exercise on values and some coaching exercises for you. In the moment, are you being honest? Are you being kind? And are you being brave enough to be yourself? Having courage. These are the 3 things that in fact, these are the only 3 things that I actually praise my children for. We do like achievement, but it's not a big thing in our house. I'm interested in raising children that have strong values. That's what's important to me. Honest, kind, brave. We have a marble jar. Every time someone who's honest or does something brave or is kind to someone else, the marble goes in the jar, and then we have family trips and things like that. So can you see how this can be used? But this is also really useful to be used in not just in the moment, because most teaching for me happens in a connected moment, not normally when there's a bit of turmoil. It's in bed. It's when you're snuggling. It's when you're having a little moment, or the both of you are on your own, and some self-reflection, because this is great for hindsight too. Do you know when this happened? Do you think perhaps that you were having the courage to be yourself? Because that's our kids' job, right? To be themselves as hard as they possibly can. Right, I'm just going to come over to the comments and just see that you can still with me. Yes, but how do you know when your tank is full enough? Good question, Lucy. Oh, you know, babe. You know because you are ready to step out and serve others. That would be my answer. You know because you're brimming, you're fizzing, you can feel the love. You know because you feel rested. You don't feel the resentful, depleted depression, anxiety. You have joy. You're grateful for literally everything in your life. And just the joy seeps out of you. And I think it's when you're in that place, that is when your tank is full. That is when you have overflow. I don't go into coaching sessions and things unless I am full. And I'm not full all the time. I'm also a human being. There are also moments, but I have huge amounts of practices and things that I do that keep me full. Does this answer the question, Lucy? Okay. Right, I'm conscious of time. So I'm going to move on to the coaching questions. Now, these are some of the things that you can also do at home. Now, some of the questions we can do now, but if you take them away and do them with your children as well, I'm just going to split my screen over. So I am going to bring up, I would like for you to figure out your top 3 values. Now, we've just talked about honest, kind, and brave. I want you to hold that on one side for a moment. And I don't want you to think about your parenting. I want you to think about your life. Now, phone's going to go. Ignore that. Right, I'm going to bring up the screen. Now, this is a little bit of a prompt for you, if you like. I want you to think about what the top 3 values that are the most important thing to you in your life. And I'll explain how I use mine, and I'll explain how it works, so perhaps you can understand. Now, take a little moment, just the top 3. Now, I have the 3 that I have, and you're very welcome to use mine. In fact, I'll come here so I can still see you. Move my mic over a little bit. So the 3 that I use health. My top value is health. And the reason why my top value is health is because as a full-time single parent to 2, I'm the mothership. If this ship goes down, everything else falls apart. I have no support, financial or otherwise, from their father. He doesn't see them, hasn't seen them in 7 years. He doesn't pay. So my health means I have to work. It means I have to be able to take my children to things. But what I love about using health is for me, this has to be the top one for me. It might not be for you. Maybe it's something else. Having just lost 2 years of my life to long COVID, seriously, health is my top priority. Without it, I don't work. Without it, I can't have fun. There's no life. There's no experience. There's no expansion. So health is number one. I also like health because I can cheat a little bit, and I can have mental health, emotional health, physical health, spiritual health. Yeah, do you see? So for me, this is number one. But you can choose what you want. The second one for me, my second one, is family. And I'll tell you how I use these in a minute. So, in fact, let me tell you now. So I use these 3 values when I'm making decisions. So, in fact, let me tell you what the third one is first, and then it will make more sense. So my second one is family. So my health comes first, then my inner circle comes first. My children, my mum, my closest circle of friends. Yeah. Those are the things that are important to me, the most important things to me after my health. I cannot love them at the expense of my health. Does that make sense? Which is why health is above family. You can also count your closest friends in there as well. And the third one for me is freedom. Freedom. I thrive on travel. I thrive on adventure. I thrive on new experiences. I thrive on expansion and the freedom to be able for me to step into who I want to be uninhibited, go where I want to go uninhibited is a thing for me. Also, I can also cheat with freedom, and I can have financial freedom, mental freedom, emotional freedom, physical freedom. You get the gist. Right. Now, how I use this. Do you still need this, by the way? Can you, do you still need this? And if anybody still needs this, let me know. I'll keep it up until you tell me that you're all done. Now, loads of people do this exercise, by the way. They do it for them, like the loads of people do this exercise in their jobs and things like this. How many people are applying this to their parenting in their lives? I don't know. I use this when I'm making decisions. So, for example, I recently got invited to go and speak on a stage in Spain. Unfortunately, for me to go, it meant that I was going to violate my top 2. First of all, I was not feeling at my best, and it was a bit of a short minute. Someone had dropped out, which was awesome, and it was a fantastic opportunity, but it would have massively sacrificed my energy because I had something really big on the following week, and it meant that I would then not be able to show up for the commitment that I'd already made, if that makes sense. The second thing that it would have compromised is that my son was doing an assembly, something that he had been working really, really hard for. Please tell me when you're done with this, because I'm kind of like over here. Yes, screenshot it. This is a good idea. Thank you very, very much. This helps me make decisions because, yes, Lindsay, I also, being ADHD, I can struggle with making decisions. This helps me so much. Thank you. I'm going to remove this. Thank you. Are we all done? Jasmine, are you done? This helps me so much with making my decisions because these are my priorities. And so when I'm going to bring you back to this, when we bring you back to the circle of Ra, when I say I'm being connected, am I being honest with myself? This is the thing that I use. Have I been honest with myself that I am putting my health first? Have I been honest with myself that I'm putting my family first? And have I been honest with myself that I'm putting my freedom first? This is how I use the circle of Ra. It's connected to my own personal values, my core values, the things that are resonant most with me, and yours will be different. And that is fine. As I said, the work that I do is non-prescriptive. However, when you know what you stand for, when you know what's important, and you put this on your wall, your job is to put this on your wall, put it on your fridge, talk to your kids about it. These are what we are going to live by. It gives them a really great code for life. And maybe their values might be different. Maybe you don't want to have to get into the values exercise. So I've got an amazing little thing that we can do now. Let me just bring up the other questions. Now that you have the top 3 values, I would like for you to think about somebody in your life that you really, really admire. Someone that really embodies attributes, qualities, somebody that you would like to be like. Please write it down in the comments below. And if you're watching this back on a replay, please write it in your journal or write it down in the comments below. Jasmine, also ADHD. I think there's no such thing as normal. This is what I've kind of got to the conclusion of. But without my ADHD brain, oh my goodness, I would not have been able to see the link and all the creativity and the music workshops that I've written. I think it's a superpower, personally. Who is the person that you most admire? And I want to know why. So write down for me, who is the person that you admire? And then just like a little sentence on what it is that you think that what is it that makes you admire or want to be like them? Now, it could be somebody close to you. Maybe it's somebody famous. I don't know. Who is that person and what it is that they are embodying? Just would like you just to write that down for me. So Lucy says, my dear friend Anna, this is awesome. Anna, what qualities does Anna possess, Lucy, that you admire so much about her? Jasmine, Lindsay, are you still with me? Who do you admire and why? I know it's hard that you only have to pick one. What are the qualities they possess? What is it? Is it because they're overcoming something? Because here's the thing I love. Every single successful, happy person that I know has normally been through some shit. And I know that you have been through the mill. This is life. Life does a number on you. Remember, we wake up, we're born limitless and wonderful, and then life does a number on us. But if you asked me to take away the things that destroyed me, 14 years with a sociopath, losing my brother suddenly, losing my father suddenly, like all of those things, and even the little slight things, like somebody taking the mickey out of me for my songs. Like, if you took all of that away from me right now, like, I would not be the person that I am now. And I know that it's the same for you. Does this make sense? Life turns sand into pearls, right? Coal into diamonds, and caterpillars into butterflies. Working on you too, babe. Okay. So I'm going to see this. My friend Anna Morton, she has patience, poise, and an adventurous spirit. Oh, she sounds awesome. Okay, but you're also adding here, Lucy, grace. How do you define grace? Grace is such a fascinating and beautiful quality. For me, grace is, there's a depth to grace, isn't there? It's a really deep quality. And it's normally, I think has she weathered some storms? Literally, she literally has weathered some storms. She's been sailing around the world for the last 10 years. Oh my goodness, this is the woman who's living her life. I freaking love this. Honestly, I've just bought a house. I've just bought a house in Portugal. I am so close. I'm sorting out visas. I'm speaking to schools. I am very, very close for jumping ship, let me tell you. Facebook user, Jasmine, as this is you, I'm trying to decide. I love this. Do you know what? When I sometimes do this exercise with my clients as well, I often use my children actually as an example. I love that you've done that, because you're right. Like, I want to be like my kids. They don't give a monkeys, do they? They are just showing up exactly who they are. I want to get back to that. How inspiring that is. Okay. Lindsay can't post comments to Facebook group for some reason. I don't know why. Never mind. Okay. So here's the thing I want you to acknowledge in this moment. All of the qualities that you see in your friend. Let's just move that away from me a little bit on microphone. All those comments. Sorry, Lindsay, I was scrolling down. I couldn't actually see yours. Let's try it again. There we go. Someone who is strong, loving, caring, and empowered. They're beautiful, babe. Who is it, though? Oh, you can't decide. Is that what you were saying? You can't decide right now. I get you. Okay. I can't decide, but this is who I would admire. Okay. The world is a mirror. Jason, I'm going to come back to your comment in a minute. The world is a mirror. Everything that you see in these people that you admire, you have those qualities in you. That is why you resonate. That is what is calling you. Those are parts of you that are being called, that yourself is calling out for. That's why you resonate. Does this make sense? How many of you sometimes see somebody doing amazingly wonderful things and successful, and you're like, and you get triggered? I remember I was speaking at this online event, and I was surrounded by the most incredible, successful entrepreneurs, like way further on in their journey than myself. Like, I've only been in it for a few short years, and I was just in complete and utter, like, imposter syndrome was kicking in. Who the hell do I think I am? Like, oh my God, like, why am I here? I don't know what I'm talking about. Blah, 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 blah. Limiting story, limiting story, limiting story, limiting story. Yes. And then I remembered that all of these women, the reason why I was admiring them is because everything that they possess, I have too. And when I flipped that, I said, thank you for showing me what's possible for me. Thank you for reflecting back at me where I can go, what I can do, how I can impact the world. Because that's what I genuinely think we're all here to do, is to leave the world in a better place than we left it. The world is a mirror. Now, this is a really interesting exercise that you can go away and do with your children. I'm going to come back to the comments in a moment. If you look further down for the exercise to do with your children don't understand values. You can't really have these conversations with younger children. But I promise you now, if you sit down tonight, you don't have to get the paper out. You don't have to make it a thing, right? Don't do that. Don't say, right, sitting down, we're doing this work now. God, never do that. Ask them who they really like at school, who their favorite teacher is. Ask them who their friends are. Ask them who they admire. They won't know about values, but your children intrinsically, vibrationally, energetically will resonate with the people that have, like, it will always come out kind. When I ask my children who are their favorites, why are they the favorites? Why is the favorite teacher? Why is their favorite friend? Kind, funny, accepts them just as they are. All of those things. Your children get it. Love how children get it already. And this circle of rah is going to help them to put some words to that. Give them a structure and a process. Has this been helpful for you? Right, I'm just going to go back and look through the comments. Lucy, I do think I was more positive and playful before my parents killed themselves. I think that will be a thing. Lucy, I'm sending you so much love for your loss. I'm so sorry that happened to you. That is going to impact you. And it's interesting because there's quite a few people that I've worked with over the years that have actually come to me because of my stories with loss myself. The lessons that you will get, I always say that death is the harshest lesson, but it is the greatest teacher. How much do you value your life? How much do you learn to live every single moment? How do you rinse every last glorious moment? You see, death can be, if we choose it to be, and everything is a choice. Everything. Our personal reality, how we perceive things, how we understand things, the meanings that we are attached, ultimately are a choice. I would love to know if this has impacted you in a positive way, Lucy, and I'm sending you love. That is a really, really difficult thing to have gone through. Jasmine says they move through stuff so fast. Don't hold on to stuff. Resilience and unconditional love. Yes, this is kids, right? They don't carry grudges. There's no drama, right? Love it. And Lindsay's saying, maybe more like my 30-year-old self, but now a mum. Mum is going to do, like, literally becoming a parent, hardest thing you'll ever do. It's going to sap every little bit of energy. They're going to take everything from you. And this is why the reclamation of self, I call this coaching series Reclaim Your Rasm, right? Because you've just been like And if you have a partner as well, if you have a job on top of that, if you're caring for elderly relatives or people who are sick, if you have other stuff going on and people needing things from you, how many things people need things from you? The problem is you cannot pour from an empty cup and you cannot give what you do not have for yourself. So make sure you're at the top of the list today. So I would love to know your feedback from today. Is this something that you can use? Is this something that you can bring to your children? Will you stick this on your wall? If you're watching this back on a replay, give me a hashtag replay, no escape. Bring my notes back. My son was here yesterday and I've just found this. This is on my desk underneath a piece of paper and I kept putting my elbow into something. I was like, why is that wet? And it's basically because he's just left it. It's kind of dribbled all over my desk underneath a piece of paper so I couldn't see it. Isn't that, it's like, just children. Children, why is my life always sticky? Children. I remember going to a meeting just probably not so long ago, actually, and I opened up a brand new journal for the meeting, and one of my children had written bottom across the top. It's like, thanks for that. Brilliant. So, I want you to think how you can apply this to your parenting. And yes, you are going to need to take a step back and think about this. Who is it you need to be to raise a child that you said you wanted to raise on day 2? What is required of you to step into the life that you desire, to step into the person that you admire? And I want you to think about where you are right now in your life, in your relationship with your children, in your reactivity, and in your stress, in your emotional health, in your mental health, in your personal freedom. Where are you? Okay. So your homework. What kind of life do you want for you and your children? Number 1. Does your current situation or parenting reflect where you want to be? Does it currently reflect that? Be honest. Remember, honest, kind, brave. You can be honest with yourself whilst also being kind. It is okay to forgive yourself for every mistake that you've ever made and for being where you are right now. Not everybody is where they want to be, and that is fine. But if it does not reflect, who do you need to be to change that? That's your homework. I want you to go away and I want you to think about them, and I would love for you to drop them in the comments down below. I'm just going to read your comments before we move on because I have got some exciting things to tell you. Has impacted me. When my mother died, I was 16. That's young. I was reacted by embracing nature. It seemed more real to me. Also decided hair, makeup, fashion, etc. was a bullshit. Which it is. It's kind of nice sometimes, but yeah, bullshit. She was a model and drank in secret, which killed her. After my father died when I was 30, I realized how much I had depended on him as my rock. I felt rootless ever since, although my partner is also a rock. If it wasn't for him, I don't know where I'd be. Lucy, I love that you have a partner who is your rock. I love this. And it's interesting that the male figure in your life, in both cases, is the person that has been the rock for you. So the invitation is to be who the fuck do you need to be your own rock. That would be the thing for me. And I'm not saying that grief is not a thing, because grief is absolutely a thing. And there is a process attached to that. And that is something that you never, ever go, you will never be the same. You don't ever, ever recover from something like that. What you do, as you know, is you become more able to handle it. But the question becomes, and still remains, who do you need to be to know that you are the rock that you rest on? That if all of that disappeared, and if your life was pulled from under your feet again, what would you need to be? Who would you need to be? What will you need to give yourself to be your own rock? Make sense? Sending you love for this. Jasmine, thank you. Less helpful. Yes, helpful. We did a family mission statement the other day. So we were on a roll. Oh, babe. Yeah, you're all over this. You are all over this. I know that if you bring this helps me not just in my parenting, not just in my life, in my work. It helps me in everything. And when they're coming home from school, when we're having chat, when we're lying in bed, all of these things, as long as you have your 3 words, which don't have to be the same as mine, the 3 words that as a family you want to live into, and you're being honest with yourself, and you're being kind, and you're being brave in alignment with those, you will always, always be right. So that is today's coaching session done for today. But I have a little invitation for you. For those of you who know that they want to take the next step, for those of you who know that there's more for you, I would love to invite you into my 12-month container, which is called the Fear to Fierce Experience. Now, the Fear to Fierce experience has been run in several ways over the years, and I am so freaking proud of the container that I run now, with the professionals that I run it with, and how we do it. Now, for those of you who would like to know more, let me just bring up my slide so I can tell you a little bit about this. Is your invitation to join me on the next part of the journey. Where are we? Right. Can we see this? Can we see this? Am I still in there? Yes, I am. Amazing. The Fear to Fierce experience. Now, you know there's going to be loads of there's loads of animal print. There's normally quite a lot of dancing, actually. The Fear to Fierce experience is my fully transformational, life-changing experience that is aimed both at parents, but also at children. Now, there is nothing like this in the world. And if you think about the exponential, like the penny drops and the lessons that I teach in this program, this is not just something that you are going to apply just to your parenting. These are things that you are going to take with you for the rest of your life. One of my clients, Natasha, said to me in a live recently, like, these are lessons that I'm going to take with me forever. These are perspective changes. You know, when somebody says something to you and it opens up a whole new perspective and a vista, and you see things in a completely different way, in a completely just life-altering way, and you can never go back. That is what the Fear to Fierce experience introduces. These are perspective changes. My role is to expand your lens, to shine it up, baby, to show you what is possible for you and your child when you change the way that you think and feel. And if you can think about how many penny drops you have had with me over just the last week, can you even imagine how many penny drops you would get being in this space for a year? Somebody having your back, somebody holding you accountable, somebody seeing your greatness and seeing everything that you are, because we cannot see our blind spots, ever. There is a reason why I invest in myself on a regular basis. Now, I said this the other day, actually. There were always two reasons why people don't move forward. First of all, they believe it's not possible for them. They go, oh, it's okay for you. You know, people say, oh, it's okay for you. You've done this. No, it wasn't like that. My life was a complete and utter shit show. But it's the work and the tools and the techniques that I was learning that I then put into music sessions to deliver to children, that I now deliver to parents, so that they can teach them and bring them to their children in a way that is going to stay with them forever. And this is where I get really excited, actually, because what I understand is that for every single parent, person, educator, because my work's going to be going into schools very soon, that I get to come across, that I get to impact and shape and help expand and help undo all of the crap, they then go on. Can you imagine the parenting strategy or the way that you are as a parent that then gets passed down to your children, that then gets passed down to their children and every other person that they come into contact with? It blows my freaking mind. My original plan was to impact 200,000 children within 4 years. I'm already impacting more than 600,000, I think, last seen. It blows my mind, and I'm only just getting started. I literally stopped my music sessions 4 years ago, and I decided to play bigger, and here it is. And all I changed was what I thought was possible for me, and this is what I like. And most importantly, these is the lessons that I want to teach my children. So these lessons that I put into workshops, the lessons that I teach my own children who came out from an abusive situations. Now, the work that I do is unique because it works on 3 very distinct levels. The first is the personal growth and transformation of you as a parent. And I do believe that 90% of the work that I do is actually there. And I'm going to show you how we do that in the next few slides. But this is about expanding, undoing, changing perspectives, and giving you tools and strategies that you can take into your parenting right now. But the most important thing that I want you to take from it is that strategies and blueprints, they kind of work to a certain extent. When people ask me what is going to be different at the end of my 12-month container, the answer is really simple. You are going to be different. You are going to be completely, the way that you see yourself and the way that you see the world is going to be completely different. So, undoing of the parent, increased attachment, and we're going to be talking more about attachment on Monday in our little cheeky bonus session with Una, and the importance of attachment and the emotional security of children. And I use music as a tool to do that. Why? Because it's freaking fun. It drags parents down to children's levels. It delivers things into the subconscious mind, which we're going to talk more about tomorrow. And then the third part of what I do is helping you be super intentional about how you show up with your children, with the language that you are using, how you are delivering, messaging, like the way that you handle your child's emotions and challenging behavior in a way that feels amazing, help you be intentional in your parenting. So can I just ask you if what you can see right now, does it have like an orange filter over? Does it look faded? Because on my screen it does. And I can't see what you can see. So could you just let me know? Is it clear? Do you just see like a dark, like grey, black with some writing on that? Or is there like an orange film over that? Just let me know, just for interest's sake. Okay. Now, this is the journey that the process that we go on takes. It's 5 steps, except actually it's only 3. You start at fear, okay? I'm just going to bring this back to comments so I can see what you're saying as you're saying it. Most people come into my process, they're overwhelmed, they're disconnected. They are self-sabotaging, procrastinating, reacting, resentful, depleted, exhausted. This is operating an energy of fear. And remember, we talked about the switch being from fear to love. This is, in my opinion, this is what I call winging it. And over the 12 months, we go from winging it to fierce, which is completely and utterly owning. But the first step is to get you from survival into growth. You cannot be in survival or growth at the same time. It is physically impossible. In the first couple of months of the program, all we're doing is we're helping you get your head above water, giving you tools and strategies to help you navigate all of the problems that you're coming across with your children. We're talking bedtimes. We're talking about control. We're talking about getting dressed in the morning. We're talking about leaving the freaking house, right? We're talking about what is the intention that you have for your child? Like, what is the outcome that you want? And the exercise that we did today is a very small part of setting the first part of an intention. But it's only the first step. How do you show up with your children? How do you meet your children on their level? How do you guide them to solutions? If I can help you do those things, we get you out from fear into functioning, and we get you getting your head above water. Do you know, like when you are drowning, if you are drowning or if you've been drowning, you know exactly what I'm saying. When you are stuck in overwhelm, you can't see where you need to swim to. And it is my intention by the end of the 12 months, not only will you have found your oar, but you will be rowing towards the life of your dreams. Gonna get you an oar. You got your own oar. You just forgotten where you put it, babe. It's probably in a cupboard gathering dust and cobwebs, along with your dancing shoes, right? Am I right? Okay. You cannot swim to the island or even work out where the island is that you want to swim to until you have your head above water. So the first couple of months of the program is about helping you navigate all of your children's problems, all of your parenting problems, and reminding you who the freaking hell you are. The next step is we move into focused. Now, this is where we move into self-observation, self-inquiry, introducing body, thoughts, emotions, modules on each of them. And at every single high level that I'm introducing this to you as an adult, because obviously the way that I speak to you as an adult, very, very different. We go into the science behind it. We go into coaching exercises to help you uncover your own answers. Once we've done that, there are music sessions for you to then take away and do together with your child, with the knowledge that you then have to deliver to your child in a way that is going to stay with them forever. body, thoughts, feelings. I want my children to know what a thought is. I want to know what they want. I want to know how fear shows up in their lives. I want them to know what it feels like when someone crosses a boundary in their body. I want them to know what their body's early warning signals feels like. I want them to know that they have the power to use and trust their inner voice. Do you remember we talked about this on day one? You might have an inner voice. You're either listening to it or you're not trusting it, or both. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for your children. Certainly don't want it for my children. We spend 3 or 4 months just on self-awareness and self-inquiry. And then the last part of the process, which is probably my favorite, but we have to do the groundwork. Each lesson that we learn builds on the understanding of the last. We move into finding freedom. This is when we start tuning into inner vision, imagination, energetics, frequency. This is where you are going to start feeling like who you really are and start having the courage to take action towards that. And most importantly, show your child how to do the same thing. So that by the end of the process, you are not only just owning it, but you are standing in your power as an authentic, inner-driven, courageous human being. And you have given your tools, the same tools and techniques, to your children. Now, this is a parenting program, it is a life coaching program, and it is a music program for children. This is 3 programs all in one. And you do not have to go to different parts of the world or different parts of the internet to find everything. I have put it all together in one place, and this is my life's work. This is something that I am so incredibly proud of. The interconnected nature of the work that we do, everything that you do on yourself filters through to your children, everything. I can teach your children, but you are going to be the greatest teacher for your child. Absolutely. It's about who you are being. And I'm here to support you and stand in your greatness. There's no other program like this in the world. Personal growth, parenting for parents and children. And I want to kind of I'm really, really clear on who this is for and who it isn't for. So if when you get to the end of today's session, or if you're watching this back and you are not sure if this is for you, I'm very clear who it's for and who it isn't for. So please just book a free call. Like, I'm a very normal human being. I love helping people expand and get into their greatness. And I will know straight away if it's for you. But this is how I want you to feel in your parenting. Natasha joined us as a single parent, adopted child. She was right at that, like she was like, the way this woman has changed her life. Has been able to step into new relationships and empowered with her children. Honestly, I don't want to go into details on Natasha's situation because some of it is private and there is a nature of secrecy that needs to happen around Natasha's situation, but because of her child. But this is how I want you to feel. I want you to feel complete and utter freedom in who you are and your parenting, and your child to feel the same. Michaela joined us as a single parent. So for any single mamas out there, can I just give like a massive shout out? Because for anybody who's doing this on their own, oh my goodness. And I must just say that if there are anybody watching this and they get to the end of this and they think that there's in some way that they are on a low income or they are full-time single parent or are struggling, please still reach out. We do have bursaries available for those on a low income because we actually do believe that for anybody who has left an abusive situation or is perhaps a single parent, they probably need this work more than anybody. So please don't make that be a barrier to you stepping in and doing the work if you are feeling the call. Michaela joined with her boy. Oh my goodness, I have to tell this story. I hope Michaela won't mind. So when Michaela joined, she actually joined with her partner and she was in a relationship. By the end of the process, she had actually left this relationship. And one of the things that was actually keeping her stuck was the fact that she needed him to drive. So she'd bought a van, but she couldn't drive and she was unable to get herself to places that she left the relationship. She learned to drive. Like she started a new business. The expansion was absolutely off the chart. Jasmine, I'm guessing you're a single mom. Yeah, baby. We are freaking amazing. Hannah joined me. Now, this is also for you. So if you're looking at this and you're thinking, I don't have trauma, I don't have emotional stress, I'm like not come from like the depths, or there's nothing here that I'm struggling with. Can I also say that this work is for you if you are already into the world of personal growth and transformation and you are already on that journey, but you also want to bring this to your children in a family friendly way, in a way that they can understand. This is also for you, because there are definitely two different clients that I have that are come to this work. And Hannah is a wellness professional. She runs the Breathe Academy. She's also an entrepreneur. And anybody is familiar with Denise Duffield Thomas, who wrote Get Rich Lucky book. She's an entrepreneur. She deals with money manifestation, affirmations. She bought my beta program. Talk about winks from the universe. She bought my beta program when I first launched. Oh my goodness, there are so many women in here that are already in this world. So if this is also you, this is still for you. So let's talk about what you get inside the Fear to Fierce experience. Now, the experience is run completely by myself, the coaching sessions. I'm going to explain how it works. You receive, with me, 12 development sessions. Now, these are group sessions. Now, we specifically only work in very small groups, maximum of 5 to 6, but quite often they can be smaller. And the reason why we do that is to make sure that you get the attention and the coaching, the feedback that you need. Every single month, we go deep on the modules that are inside the program, and we go through coaching exercises to help you uncover your values, your truths, what it is that's keeping you stuck, keeping you unblocked, and we help you move forward through each of those modules. So you'll get one of those with me every single month. They are 60 minutes. Everything's delivered over Zoom. Everything is recorded, and we go deep on the module of the month. You also then get a live Q&A with me where you come and ask me anything you like. And I love these because these can be really random. This can be anything that's coming up in your relationship, anything that's coming up in a work situation. You can literally ask me anything and get laser hot seat coaching. I'm not going to sit there and give you answers. I will give you my perspective if you ask me for it, but I will laser hot seat coach you through a situation and enable you to come up with your own answers. So you get a live Q&A with me every single month. That's 60 minutes. What you will also get when you join the Fear to Fierce experience, first of all, I'm really excited about this. On joining, you get a one-to-one personal session with our resident psychologist. Now, you're going to meet her on Monday. She's going to come in and do a live with us on attachment. What this woman does not know about children's emotional security does not worth knowing. She is a brain spotting facilitator, a circle of security facilitator. She's a family therapist. She works in nurseries, supporting teachers and younger children. She is obviously has a master's in psychology, and she is also a yoga teacher. But more important, she's also not actually a full-time single parent anymore. She is also a single mother to 2 children who also came through my program the first time I launched it. When I first read it, it was just 4 months long, and it was nothing like the gorgeous, incredible, experience that it is today. So she really does know all of the things. Oh, you know Michaela, this is amazing. Jasmine, I didn't know you, Michaela. Do you dance with her? Oh my goodness, dancing with Michaela. I love seeing her little stuff pop up everywhere, all over my Facebook. Okay, so monthly call with Una, a group call, but on joining you get a one-to-one. And the reason why you get a one-to-one with Una is because we have found that when you come into a space, what we don't want is for you to have to perhaps share things that perhaps you would not be comfortable sharing in a group space. So this gives Una the chance to uncover your own story, for you to share all of your details, so that when you are in a group session with Una, she has the background to be able to help you and help you look, and she's helping you look at all of the things that are going on underneath your children's behavior. Okay, so she helps you unpick. Remember, we talked about thoughts, drive feelings, drive behavior. What is showing up for you in your parenting and your child? And she holds space for you for that every single month. Again, that is 60 minutes, but you will also get a one-to-one session on joining. You will also, and this is Una, by the way, top left, you will see Una top left. She's going to be coming in on Monday, and she will hold a group session for you every single month where you can bring all of your children's issues or issues that you are having in your parenting. Also, and I love these so much, you will receive, and these are personal, every single month throughout the year, and these are freaking gold dust. These are going to change your life so quickly. I cannot even begin to tell you. If you were here in the live when we were talking yesterday about my child who burst into tears and then was able to hug me for the first time in 2 years, we talked about me crying for 2.5 hours after my first session. Literally, after only a few sessions with this woman, she's my personal energy healer. You cannot find her anywhere online. She only works privately and through my containers. After just a few sessions with this woman, I was running a business at the time called Tiny Tempo in Brighton, in Kemp Town. I used to run music sessions for under fives. Within just a few sessions, I just started looking around at my life and going, what am I doing here? Suddenly my inside does not fit my outside. And this is when I started to make changes, because all of the things that were holding me back had gone. You will receive one of these for yourself every single month. And what I love now about how we're doing this is that you will, if you are joining this with a child that perhaps also has some issues, we give you the ability to be able to use those 12 sessions in whatever way that you want. So if you want to share them with your children, then you can. She lives in Brighton, but you are very welcome if you want to work over Zoom. But she's also really open to seeing you face to face. If you're prepared to travel, you can use those sessions in whatever way that you want. Some for you, some for your children, all for you. You can share them with your partner. However you see fit, you will get one of those every single month. And I kid you not, these are going to change your life. Here's what Michaela actually had to say. It's interesting when some people have joined my container before and they're like, I don't know whether I need this or whether I need counseling. I'm telling you, I've done psychotherapy, I've done counseling, I've done all of the things. These are the things, this is why I bring them into my container. These are the things that are going to change your life instantly. They are going to undo the knots. You're going to walk away from that session. You're going to process. There's probably going to be some snot and there's probably going to be some tears. And then you are going to let go. And then you are going to expand. One of those for you every single month. These are beautiful. Okay. What you will also receive is access to the Razor Tiger program. Now, the Razor Tiger program is the filmed content, the core content, and the workbook that we work through together every single month in our coaching sessions with some additional coaching on top of that. And these are all the music-based workshops that you can go and bring to your children. Now, it's over 40. It's actually nearly 50. There's about one a week in there. And just to kind of give you a heads up, because I know lots of people ask about time, each of the workshops to do with the children, 10 to 15 minutes long. That's all they are. That's because children have a short attention span. I'm going to want you to repeat them. Your kids are going to want to do these things again. I'm telling you, the air guitar workshop, it's not even your children are going to want to do them again. You are going to want to do them again. Like, seriously, I hired out a skateboard park and I brought in the 3 times UK air guitar champion to teach us how to do air guitar for courage and self-belief and for getting back in your inner child. I mean, this is how much fun you are going to have with your child. Seriously. So you will have that as well. You have complete access to that for life. Okay. Just to give it a little, you can see a little bit inside. I think this is a slide I put together to show you what's inside. This is just one of the modules. So there are 11 modules inside this process. And the reason why it's 11 is because we don't work school holidays. One of my values is family. I'm a full-time single parent. All of the coaching sessions, all of the Q&As, and all of the sessions with Una are all delivered over Zoom, UK term time only. So this is 11 modules that we run over 12 months because we don't work August at all. For the reason that we believe that you should be connecting with your children, this is the perfect time for you to catch up. Each of the modules looks like this. There is a number of workshops within for you to do with your children. There is a workbook for you to do. And then when you come to the sessions, we go deeper. We take those coaching sessions deeper. There are more questions for you to work through. I am so proud of this. This is the work that is now being adapted to go into schools that I talk about at early childcare events. Okay. What you will also get is access to the Fierce Facebook group. Now, this, my friends, is priceless. I can't put a value on this. I am so honored to call these women friends, the women that show up for these sessions, the women show up from my program, the courage, the vulnerability, the support that they show each other. We have met up in real time. We've gone for walks. They meet up in real time and have parties. Like, some of them now come to the retreats that I work on in Ibiza. They bring their children play with my children. Oh my God, like, I'm going to get all emotional. Like, this is a family that you come into that they are going to be so welcoming that I can't even begin. Like, these are going to become your friends for life. They will have your back. I'm in there every single day. This is what Sammy had to say. I love what Sammy says because it's absolutely right. You're not just investing in yourself. You're not just investing in your child, but you're also investing as a group of like-minded parents. These women are like every single woman that is in there. I feel blessed enough now to call my friend. I'm just going to have a little drink of water. Oh, excuse me. This is really useful for you as well if you have not had the kind of parenting that perhaps you wish you could have had. If you do not have the model to copy, this is going to be life-saving for you. What you also get is 3 one-to-one sessions with me. Now, we space these out throughout the process at the end of each of the 3 steps. At the end of the functioning step, you get a one-to-one session with me to go over everything you've learned and to make sure that you are, and to zone in on things that might be coming up for you specifically. You also get one at the end of the focus session, because at the end of the focus session, when we start looking at inner work and the imagination and your dream life, we find often that we want to really go deeper on those things on an individual basis so that you can really create and design the life that you want on every single level. And so you get a one-to-one coaching at the end of that session as well, at the end of that part of the process as well. And you also get a one-to-one session with me at the end of the process as well, when we're looking at courage, action, purpose, and reclamation of self. There's also a one-to-one session at the end. So you will get 3 one-to-one sessions with me. Each of those are worth £500 each. Now, the whole value for the entire process is normally £12,500. However, I sell this, I package this all together in one place. And the cost for this, if you go and buy this on my website right now, is £4,999. However, during my coaching series, I always offer anybody who has been on this process with me, anybody who wants to come in and step in and say yes to themselves, up until Tuesday, 6 p.m., there is an additional 20%, which means that if you would like to step into this process right now, it's just £3,999. If you prefer to pay monthly, you can pay this over 12 months. It's £399 times 12. Now, I know that there are some people in my world, in my coaching series, that have come into my world and perhaps they're new to me. There are some people that have come to hear my sessions before. I have clients show up to my coaching sessions. I love it, to get a refresh. However, what I'm very, very clear on is that you probably only just met me. And as much as we spent a few days together, perhaps there are questions. This is my promise to you. I am so freaking sure of what we deliver. I am so freaking sure of the container that we hold for you as a mother so that you can be the container for your child. I'm offering, and I've never done this before, a 60-day love me or leave me guarantee. What I mean by that is the invitation is for you to come in and experience everything that we have to offer. So you get a one-to-one session with Una. You get a one-to-one session with me. You get 2 coaching development sessions, parent development sessions, 2 months of the Raise a Tiger program, and you get your 2 sessions with the Wren as well. And if at the end of those 60 days, you are not loving what we do, you can leave. And all I will ask you to pay for is 1 month. 1 month. You can keep my program. You can keep all of my content. And you pay just £499. I will refund you the rest. That is how sure and convinced that I am. If you are getting the feels, by Jasmine, it was lovely to meet you, beautiful. If you're getting the feels, if you already have a call, great, you can ask about it then. But that 30-minute call that you're coming, I want you to use that for you, and then we can have a chat at the end if there's something you want to know more about. If you have questions and you're thinking, is this for me? Just book a call. Have a chat. Let me see how my work can help you. So, first 2 months, 60 days. If you don't love it, you can leave and you can keep my program. This is how sure I am. So, I'm going to leave you today. I feel like we've done a lot. There's so much for you to process. I really want to hear from you, how you bring these values, how you bring this into your parenting. Please go away, do the exercise that I'm suggesting with your children. Please ask them who it is that they admire, who it is that they want to be, what are the values that they are resonating with. And if you have not yet booked a call, oh God, if I put my elbow in this squeaky stuff, this sticky stuff, thank you so much for showing up for yourself today. I would love, before you go, and again, if you're watching this back on a replay, give me a hashtag replay. I would like to know your biggest takeaway from today's session, please. What is your biggest takeaway? Please let me know. What is the thing that you are most going to be able to implement in your parenting right now? Tomorrow, I am going to be here for Music Day. Oh my God, I love, probably my favorite day, actually. We're going to be looking at the power of music to impact mindset. We're going to be how we introduce personal growth and development to children. I'm going to be leaving you with a music session. You will be dancing, I'm telling you, a music session for you to take away to do with your children. And I cannot wait. Drop me your biggest takeaway. I will see you tomorrow. And if you haven't yet booked a call, book one in with me now. I'll drop a link down below. 30 minutes, completely yours to do with as you will. Stay fierce, you gorgeous humans. I'm sending you so much love. See you tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow might be slightly later time. I'm sending it out today. I have a meeting with my children's SEND department. So it might be at the slightly later time at 11:30. I will keep you